It's great to be here, and today we're here to kick off Pride Month, and I'll tell you, this is still one of my favorite days of the year. So you can bet I'm jazzed as hell to be here with all of you. To every single person here with us, thank you for joining us, which is now the 6th annual Pride celebration here at the Wisconsin State Capitol. And I want to begin today by recognizing and thanking all the folks behind me, including members of my cabinet, legislators, members of the LGBTQ Legislative Caucus, and I also want to recognize LGBTQ members of Wisconsin's congressional delegation, Senator Tammy Baldwin and Congressman Mark Pocan. And finally, I want to express my gratitude to the many organizations and advocates and members of the community who are here on this important day, including Fair Wisconsin, G-Safe, Human Rights Campaign, Outreach Madison, Diverse and Resilient, and lots of other organizations. On behalf of my entire administration, I want to thank you and recognize you for your incredible partnership and for never faltering in your mission in promoting LGBTQ equity, advocacy, and inclusion across the great state of Wisconsin. Today and throughout the month of June, we celebrate LGBTQ history in Wisconsin, the LGBTQ community, and LGBTQ contributions and culture, which are a vibrant, critical part of our identity as a state and as of a nation. Today, we also honor and pay tribute to countless LGBTQ individuals who are no longer with us, like Dick Wagner. Those whose stories, voices, and relentless dedication to a brighter, safer, and more equitable world help secure the fundamental rights and freedoms that we're working hard to defend and protect still this day. As much as today and this month is a celebration of the LGBTQ community, it is also a time to acknowledge the work we have before us and the challenges members of the LGBTQ community in Wisconsin, across the country, and around the world. From the Black Night Brawl in Milwaukee, which took place years before the historic Stonewall riots in New York, to being the first state to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation and we're a state that elected an openly LGBTQ woman to the House of Representatives and an LGBTQ person to the U.S. Senate. To this June, recognizing the 10th anniversary of same-sex couples being legally able to marry in the state of Wisconsin, a right later extended to the same-sex couples in all 50 states and affirmed by the U.S. Supreme Court in June of 2015. We will always be proud to celebrate Wisconsin's important history of activism and advocacy to support LGBTQ people and advance the rights and freedoms that they deserve. But, despite this progress, today we continue to see harmful anti-LGBTQ rhetoric being pushed throughout legislators across the nation, including right here in Wisconsin. Last year, Republican legislators in our own legislature sent a bill to my desk to ban gender-affirming care for transgender youth, and just this spring sent me another bill targeting transgender and gender nonconforming youth and banning them from participating on school athletic teams that align with their gender identity. But I know this is not news for most of the folks here today. You've heard all the hateful rhetoric before from people in the Capitol that are using what we all know, and it does nothing but hurt our kids and embolden hate and violence and threatens the safety, security, and dignity of LGBTQ people. Frankly, that is just BS. Many of the people here today have been right there fighting each bill with everything they've got, showing up at public hearings, sharing their stories, and showing lawmakers just how wrong-headed these bills are for Wisconsin. Stepping up like that takes guts. And I know it's not easy, but it couldn't be more important. And you're damn right I vetoed every one of those bills, just as I always will. And I have been proud to stand at your side every step of the way in this work. I promised long ago that, as governor, I would veto any bill that makes Wisconsin less safe, less inclusive, and less welcoming place for LGBT people and kids. That'll never change, folks, and I said it before and I'll say it again. Raising the pride flag above the Wisconsin State Capitol sends a clear, unequivocal, and decisive message that in Wisconsin, all are welcome. No matter who you are, what you believe, who you love, or how you express your trust, your truest and most authentic self, you are family here, you belong here, you are welcome home here. Raising the pride flag also sends an important reminder to people who work in the other wings of this building that this is it. This is the people's house. These elected leaders serve at the pleasure of the people of the state. And yes, that means LGBTQ Wisconsinites too. And finally, raising this flag over the east wing of the Capitol is a symbol of my resolve and my administration's resolve to always stand with LGBTQ Wisconsinites, including our trans and gender nonconforming kids, and fight to protect them with every tool and every power that we have. End of story. Every day, through both our words and our actions, we will keep working to build a Wisconsin that is more welcoming, more inclusive, and more just for everyone. And while we work for this brighter future, we will continue to uplift the voices of our LGBTQ friends and neighbors whose stories are interwoven with the history of our state and who we are as Wisconsinites. And now I have the great honor of turning things over to Nevaeh. Nevaeh, please come and give us some words. And Nevaeh is a great student at La Follette, as I remember. Take it away, Nevaeh.
Hello, everyone. I have the honor to be here today to see the pride flag raised in person and to speak about my experience on what pride means to me. Growing up, I didn't have a sense of my identity. I was assigned female at birth, but I felt so uncomfortable identifying that way. Even though I knew I wasn't what I was assigned at birth, that's how people perceived me. Getting out of the way of how people perceived me felt impossible. I never knew the right term for it, or if it was even normal to feel that way. But going into high school and joining clubs like GSA, meaning Gender and Sexuality Allowance, at La Follette High School made me realize terms and educated me about the LGBTQ community and overall getting to know myself better. It was a space where I could truly be my authentic self, and all the weight I had from hiding was gone. Being in GSA helped encourage me to come out. I started off small at my internship at Wanda Fillmore, coming out as non-binary and using the pronouns they, them. I became more comfortable in advocating for myself and who I was. I became more proud of my identity. Going into senior year, I had fully come out, and it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. No longer having to hide myself and be someone I was not. Even then, it was scary going into community of places, such as G-Safe. who gave me the opportunity to know more queer youth and connect with them and help me be able to share my voice and be more comfortable with myself. I'm just incredibly thankful for how much our community has grown and for seeing all my peers with joys on their face. You can see how much colorful they have gotten, and them just being their authentic self. And to really just finish it off, it's really such a beautiful experience to see how the LGBTQ community fought to get to this point where we wave the pride flags and show our pride in Madison. Pride to me is not only about being confident by yourself and your identity, but also how you can make sure that everyone can be proud, coming together, creating a better community, and raising your voices for other queer youth. There's still so much work to be done for the LGBTQ community, but just raising this flag is such an important and pivotal moment for us. So thank you, and happy Pride, and I will be introducing Kathy.
How about that? Very powerful, very moving. Thank you, Governor Evers, legislators, and distinguished guests. My name is Kathy Greer, and I, along with my colleagues here, represent Open Door Pride in Door County. The pride flag doesn't just represent support, it says that you see us and that you value us. It's a wonderful feeling to know the place we love so much is happy that we're here. As chair of Open Door Pride, I'm here to express that the strength of our community depends on how our elected officials collectively represent all of us. And when our representatives see us, we are healthier and happier, both as citizens and as human beings. It's no stretch of the truth that the LGBTQ community has suffered discrimination, but we've also been welcomed. Open Door Pride is a wonderful example of that. And over the past 8 years, we have seen Door County become more welcoming and open. And we welcome you to come see for yourselves. And now, with today's flag raising, we celebrate being welcomed at the state level. We all have an LGBTQ someone in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces. Today, I stand here, a gay woman who formed a pride organization in order to offer hope, safety, welcoming, inclusivity, and diversity to this beautiful place we call home. Yesterday, as I walked down 3rd Avenue in Sturgeon Bay, there was a poster in the window of the United Way office, and it read, "Bloom where you are planted. Raising the pride flag says we can all bloom." Thank you. And now I would like to introduce Secretary Casey.
Thank you, Kathy. Governor Evers, members of the legislature, members of the LGBT community, and our allies. I'm proud to be here today to shed light on the significance of the LGBTQ pride flag. In a world where acceptance, respect, and love are paramount, the LGBTQ pride flag stands as a symbol of unity, equality, and pride. The rainbow flag, designed by Gilbert Baker in 1978, became an iconic emblem of the LGBTQ community. Each color represents something unique. Red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for harmony, and purple for spirit. The added chevron colors of the Progress Pride flag represent light blue, pink, and white stripes for trans and non-binary individuals, and the brown and black ones for marginalized people of color. When I began my coming out journey 30 years ago, the pride flag represented our struggles, our resiliency, and our solidarity. I looked for the rainbow on businesses to know I would be accepted. And when I saw a rainbow button on a fellow student's backpack, I knew I was near someone like me. It gave me comfort. Our pride parades and events over the years were where we could be proud of each other But still, we didn't always feel comfortable outside of our community. When Governor Evers first ordered the pride flag to fly over the Wisconsin Capitol 5 years ago, it took on a new meaning to me and to everyone here. We were welcome. The pride flag became a symbol of celebration and a reminder to embrace individuality, to honor diversity, and to cherish love in all of its forms. It's a declaration that every individual deserves to be seen, heard, and respected for who they are. This welcome carries over in the administration and carried over to the values we share at the Department of Revenue, where I'm secretary. We wear these values on our lanyards, got mine here, to remind us of the importance of inclusivity and empathy in all that we do. I'm honored to work in this administration and to empower all of our employees to be their true selves as we serve our diverse Wisconsinites. Today, when my husband, Kevin, my parents, and I come up to the Capitol Square in June for the farmers market or to enjoy a concert on the square in our beautiful city, we look up at the Capitol and the Progress Pride flag with a feeling of inclusion and true pride. Thousands of people see this same important symbol and know that Wisconsin welcomes them. So thank you all for joining us today for this truly meaningful event, and thank you, Governor Evers, for making us feel welcome and celebrating LGBTQ pride. Happy Pride, everyone.
Well, now the big time, we're going to raise the flag. Now, there's always some concern about what's happening. They have to lower the flags, take the flags off, and put the pride flag on. So it's not that things are not going well. It's just that's the way it works. So I encourage the people here, look that way, and they'll be taking the flags down quickly and make it happen. See, I told you. That's what happens. You can always count on me telling the truth. Well, again, thanks everybody for being here today. It's an honor to be here for the sixth time to make this happen. And I know there's media out there that may have questions, so let's dispose of that and then we'll chat. We have to wait until that document, first of all, we don't.